Hello and welcome. I don't know if I'm going to upload this, but I do feel to at least report. I am processing through some things in regards to, just the whole mess we're in currently. Just things. So, specifically, I'm very much paying attention to what one would call the 4D traps, the 4D ascension, false ascension traps, right? These conspiracy theories, this QAnon, these cults. It's the best word to describe them. Cults. And how susceptible people are to them when they do not know what's happening, when chaos and confusion arises. And I know that firsthand because I've been through these types of experiences where you're in the dark and supposedly somebody else holds the answers, right? And this, this can bring a sense of peace to somebody that, oh, okay, so I don't have to, it's really almost that idea of like, oh, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. Right? Somebody else has already figured it out. And I feel like, for the most part, that is the way that we had been for quite some time. This disconnection from our inner being, really, in our own ability to, process through our own experiences and our own knowings. And while I understand that, I understand. Like, I get it. I do. And so, it's still, difficult to witness. It's a challenge. It's a challenge to witness the unfolding and to find one center point within the all. And so I am here to share. I am here to share what I am witnessing. I'm here to share what I see, what I know to be true, on the deepest levels of my being. In many ways and in many forms. And so this reconnecting to this, what we are seeing currently within the collective, specifically here in the United States. Although this is, also happening everywhere in its own way. So this QAnon base, right? This having any connection to this material without that 100% clarity is truly doing disservice, because it is not, it is a quick fix, or the thing is it's not a quick fix even. Within the mental ability of an individual, it may seem like a quick fix. And so it's this quick response to not dig deeper, essentially. Those who uphold that ideology, that system in any way, shape, or form. And I'll just give an example of that. It's this one must take another step back, and 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 another step back, in order to see the picture fully and to also allow that system to collapse, one could say. Right? This taking a step back further in order to see exactly what is happening, what is truly happening. And see, one can only step back so far as the capacity one has within their space to see from that perspective. And so when one is only operating from this 4D level of being, and one is not able to connect to this 5D, this 6D, this 7D, you could say, these higher perspectives, this higher awareness, number one. And number two, when one holds this bias within one's energy field, or when one is still within duality, within these splits. So as one takes a step back, one is able to see and feel safe within the all that is happening, held within the all that is happening. And just bearing witness to the all that is happening. And I invite each and every one of you into that space of awareness. And share from that space. And share from that space of what is simply happening. So what we can see happening is one getting lost within these realms of experience. Many being lost within those realms of experience. One being disconnected from their light. Because their higher light, really. They don't have the access to that higher light. And why do they not have the access to that higher light? Because they have not taken those steps to claim that higher light. Like, they just haven't gotten to that point yet where that could even be revealed to them. So do you see that one must come to a point where things would actually make sense? And if they are, and that is up to the individual, right? That is up to the one who is choosing the path forward. It would have to be a choice to move forward. It would have to be a choice to really live the path, embody the path. It is not a, this is what I want, but I'm going to be over here and not do anything to actually walk that path. Because it is the path that brings you home. It is the path that brings you to where you desire to be. It is not something that is just, although it is at the same time, just given. It is something one receives. However, one can only receive it when one is on their path. not in a way of there being any kind of punishment or anything like that. It's just how it is intended to be. It's like one would say, it's just how it works, and it's the only way it would work. And everything else besides that is bypassing. So as we release this bypassing, or this ability to bypass, really, because there will be no ability to bypass whatsoever. As far as what I can see, there is only the path forward, or there is essentially death. It's that juncture point on some level. It's almost as if one could say it's that, rock bottom recovery, right? When, and sometimes it takes that. Sometimes it takes that to bring someone to their path. And it is all within that space of love and coming from the heart. Coming from a space of love, coming from the heart. What each individual pulls themselves out of their own pain and suffering. It is just how it works. And how beautiful is that, to know that you are fully in control. That you have the capacity to create a path forward. No matter where you are. Simply done through choice. Choice to align. Choice to activate and allow. Allow for the unfolding. Allow for it to move through one. This higher energy. To wash away everything that one is holding on to that is not in vibrational alignment to this world that we are intended to create. It is within the understanding that we all are one, that these stances must be taken. That this understanding must be received. Ahashana Atemone Ahatana Ashena Ashena. Allowing one to take a moment, to take a step back, in order to receive one's higher light. Ahashana Atemone Ahatana Ashena Ashena. Okawana Okawana. Continue to move forward into that light. Ahashana Ashene Atemone Ahatana Ashene Ashene. So receiving that into the heart space. So these 4D traps, what do they look like? Where are we not really releasing ourselves out of, right? And also holding oneself, right, within that release out, really. So this okay, I'll just share something, share it in my space, so it hopefully will come together. So QAnon. QAnon is not real. It's a propaganda machine. Okay, it just is. It just is. Save the Children, hashtag Save the Children, is not real. It is a propaganda machine. Right? It is not designed to end pedophilia. It is not designed to bring those who are truly responsible to justice. It is not designed for these things. What it is designed for is to keep certain people in power, right? To essentially create this idea of this one world power, which is not in our best interest. When has that ever been a good idea? To give our power away. Ever in the history, in the her story of humankind, when has that ever been a good idea? Herd mentality, cultish behavior. When has that ever turned out well? When? That is a fact. Much of this information that is presented out there to counter, right, this misinformation, this disinformation, these false conspiracy theories, and then to say that somehow they are helpful in the sense of, well, they bring these things out to awareness, but they are not. Do you see? It is designed for a specific power and control system to hold the power, not the individual. And that is the message that I am sharing. That we each must come into our own individual sovereignty within the understanding of wholeness and greater wholeness and greater wholeness. And that we must create a system that honors each and every one of us within that. We are not to suppress, we are not to oppress, we are not to abuse, to diminish, to dismiss. So why would anyone ever support an individual who upholds that type of system? It is mind-boggling to me. And yet I understand at the same time. I do. I understand. I understand because I have gone down that rabbit hole before myself. I understand because I know how enticing that light may sometimes seem, and how good it sometimes makes you feel. But it is false power. It is false power, and it is not true source empowerment. Bringing in this higher light source, this higher energy source, really. Bringing this in. And bringing this in. We are bringing this in. That is what we are intended to bring in. So this is an invitation to begin to step away, step out, step forward, rise up, move into, progress, these higher states of being in harmony, right? In harmony in this moment as well, in the understanding that this is a part of the process, and yet upholding that higher light within the distortion, right? That these old programs must end, that this upholding of this, really this propaganda machine that's, people just, they gravitate onto it because they see power, right? They see, oh my God, it's so enticing. Like, oh, all I have to do is just, kind of tap into this energy here, and I got my base. Do you see that? But where is the upholding of this integrity, this higher light? It is because one is not firmly anchored in their higher light. They are not firmly anchored in their higher awareness. They are not fully operating from that space of being. And we all must begin to return to this way of being at this time. Ahashana atene ashemone ahatana atene. So this releasing out of these old systems, releasing out of, really coming out of these rabbit holes at this time, awakening out of our slumber, right? These old ways of being, these systems will fall. These old systems will fall. There's already something in its place. All is well. The universe is operating exactly as it is intended to. So how do you, right, we were talking about tapping in, how do you begin to tap into this higher source? Tap into this higher abundance, like this new earth potential. Release out of those old world ways of being, those old grid systems, really, where you source this from this external source, and truly birth your light from within, and birth your self into being, and it is shifting into this make yourself, this almost like this, this being self-made, this reset point for many. For many, this may be an opportunity to shift out of and shift into. It's almost like I see it as this, like, it's like this turnstile, like where you, like those revolving doors, right? You go into those revolving glass doors, and then you make it to the other side, into that other space, into that next space, into that next stage, into that next step. Right? Whatever that may be for you personally, individually at this time, that shifts the collective focus as well. So as we each individually begin to step into our own empowerment as individuals within the collective at this time, not with our heads in the sands, not with our, so-called bullshit higher light technology. No, this is about being present here at this time to truly shift things from the ground up, so to say, this embodied ascension. That is what we are here for. to bring this energy into the body, to heal the physical body. You know, when you bring in this higher light, when you bring in these higher energies, when you bring in these higher codes, when you reform yourself, you could say, when you bring in this new, and you are, it's like as if you already are in your highest potential, because it already is. It already is happening within that moment. It's truly embodying, right, this higher light. And in order to embody this higher light, one must release out of the old systems that you hold within the body. It's almost like, the way I see it is, it's like a body form. It's like something that exists around the body that kind of holds it in place within, let's say, this matrix system or whatever system, right? You're the 4D or wherever you are at, let's say, wherever you're at, it kind of holds you there. So it's releasing out of that lower vibrational, that lower density model of being, and receiving in this new density, receiving in this higher density model, this, and it really, it comes in beautifully and assists and supports one in correcting and adjusting. It's an energy field, truly, for the physical body to support and assist the physical body in releasing out of that old conditioned way of being. So it's in order to receive that, right, you know, your body holds these, it holds certain things. So what I had been called to, and then I'm going to go ahead and finish this video or this recording, but I was called to read about the I don't even know how to put it, Dionysius, you know, the god of wine, the Greek god of wine, Dionysius, Bacchus, god of wine, really god of pleasure, you could say, in some level. It's this, there were these cults, these Dionysian cults back in ancient Greece, and I was reading about them. I don't remember what I was called to, but I felt to read about it. And the way, you know, essentially it's like it was for those who were more marginalized within society, and that is how cults work. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, you know, wine cult or anything, but it's what it is it takes those that are, you know, essentially, like, they had women and, you know, people who perhaps were lower on the social scale, let's say, and it was a way to kind of, the idea was to free themselves of their conditioned responses, right? And then I was, you know, I was connecting into this idea, you know, I was connecting into this space of then, right? Imagining ancient Greece, imagining this cult, you know, and reading about how the cult is all about the life cycle of the grape, and I was like, oh yeah, I can see that. I can see how that mystical, right? That mystical connection to the wine, and then the drinking of the wine, and, you know, the release of your inhibitions, and, you know, okay, I get it, right? I get it. And so I can get the enticement with that. And then I was thinking, well, if somebody's pulled into this, right, and they're released out of this, you know, structure of society that they were currently in, and so they join this cult, and this cult goes around and preaches, right, their message or whatever it may be, come and join us, and probably sells their wine and the commerce with that and all of that. But, you know, and probably bringing people in who may be, interested in partaking in something like this, just imagining that. And the, like, what else is there? What else is there if you do not feel like, hey, let's say you don't have the greatest space in this structure, and something comes along and it, kind of frees you of this, and it gives you something to belong to. That can, that's, but it's like, and then what other option do they have? Do they go back to that structure? No, because they've already opened themselves up. They've already released out of it. They can't hold it. So what do they have? They have this cult that they have to essentially stay in, right? Because there's nothing else. And I was just thinking about then, right? I was just thinking about then, and how we have this potential at this time. We have this potential at this time to create this container that holds all things. Well, we don't have this, this hierarchical, you're essentially stuck where you're at for the rest of your fucking life, or, when we get stuck in these cycles of, various things. But this ability to truly transition into and out of and move through, right? These opportunities to shift. That we are given these opportunities now to shift into these spaces where we are creating these containers that allows for this, right, this release out of, and really this designing. I call it the sacred life by design, this designing of one's life. From this point of realization, or this origin point of, being able to, this original blueprint, this connection to this original blueprint, this new fractal creation, right? It's that. It's connecting into that space of, right? We gotta close, but we gotta close everything out. Everything's gotta be completed in order to fully move forward. And we're in that, it's funny as I'm saying that, I almost see it as this like funnel at this time. So, I'm just sharing that, and okay, I think that will do. That will do. I don't want to add anything on to this. If you're interested in what I have to share, please check out my offerings below if you'd like to work with me. Begin to receive your blessings, really, is what I feel. This, a really good practice at this time is kind of dancing, right? Free dancing, free movement, freedom, because it's really what we're going for, is this freedom, right? To embody this freedom to just be within one's own system, within one's own grace, within one's own understanding. Feeling held within that space. So if you need some support in creating those containers, shifting into those containers, shifting into those spaces, creating them, I can help you with that. Wishing you well, and until next time, toodaloo.